So the movie begins, and we meet Courtney and her sister. Both of them love each other very much, and even at this time, both of them were enjoying each other's company. Courtney was driving at this time, and while driving, she was distracted by her phone, due to which she met with a very bad accident, and the car broke the bridge and fell into the river below. What happens after all this is not shown, and the scene cuts to a scene from 9 years later. We see Courtney in a hospital. She has now become a doctor. She is also doing research on the afterlife because she wants to know what happens when a person dies. Due to this research, Courtney was not able to concentrate on her studies, and we see that because of this she gets scolded by the professor because she was not able to tell the doctor the correct diagnosis medicine. He was not paying any attention to what the professor was saying. He had a different plan in his mind. After class, she goes to her classmate Jamie and asks him, "Do you want to go on an adventure?" Jimmy agrees, and Courtney leaves, giving him an address, telling him to come there at night. Now, at the same time that he had given to Jamie, Connie arrives in the basement of the same hospital with her friend Sophia. Upon opening the basement, it was revealed that it was a complete facility. The purpose for which it was built was not known, but Courtney was now going to use it for her own purpose. She was going to conduct a very dangerous experiment here, for which she had done complete research. Before starting the experiment, she gives a briefing of all her experiments to Jamie and Sophia. She says that the brain is also a part of our body. But why doesn't our brain die immediately after we die? There is definitely a part inside the brain that remains alive even after we die. I was researching on that, and I have come to know about that part. After our death, that part of the brain remains alive for 4 minutes, and if we die and are revived within 1 minute, then we can go to that part and see. Then we can find out whether after death I will do all these experiments on myself. I want to experience everything myself, so I need your help because both of them were doctors. It was not difficult for him to do all these tasks. She says that first you give me an electric shock due to which I will almost die, and then within 1 minute revive me, i.e. make me alive again. So in the match against which Phias was up against, Courtney could have lost her life, and reviving someone within a minute was a task requiring a lot of skill, and neither of them had that much experience. Katani says, even if something happens to me, the blame will not fall on you people. I have also signed my will, and it is clearly written in it that I am doing this experiment of my own free will. Sophie and Corny continue to argue, but Jamie was very excited. Here he starts preparing to do this experiment. And then Connie stops talking to Sophia and goes and lies down on the bed, and Jamie starts attaching devices to it. After attaching multiple scanners to his brain, Jamie gives him a high-voltage current that temporarily stops his heart. As soon as your heart stops, say she was dead. His soul had come out of his body. According to the machines, Courtney was dead. But that part of his brain on which the experiment was being conducted was still alive, and because of that part, he was going to remember all the things that he would experience after death. Here a minute passes, and these people start trying to bring Courtney back to life. But Courtney wasn't coming alive anymore. Sophie's hands and feet swell. She becomes extremely panicked and decides to call another friend of hers on this secret mission, who is a cardiac surgeon and has a lot of experience in restarting a stopped heart by giving it a shock. Now, as soon as Ray gets this message, he also runs towards the basement. Being singled out, we are now shown Courtney's thoughts. His soul is shown, which was in the other world and was experiencing everything with surprise. By now, Ray had also reached here in the real world. Ray quickly comes here, and with his experience, he is successful in reviving Courtney, and they breathe a sigh of relief here. And during this time, their door opens and someone else also came here. When these people look back in fear, they find out that it was Dr. Marla. His classmate had come here chasing the thief. Now automatically, he also came to know about all the experiments. Well, the basement was going to close in a while. That is why all these people now go from here to Katani's house, so that they can ask about his experience after death. He had saved videos of the scanners attached to Courtney at the time when Courtney was dead. In those videos, these people could clearly see that even after death, something like lightning was happening in some parts of Courtney's brain. However, the rest of the brain was shut down. His experiment was becoming successful, and people were very happy. he did not tell everyone here what he saw after his death. But this time she was very satisfied because her personal experiment was successful. Well, the next day we are shown all of them in the class, and as always, the professor starts asking them difficult questions, to which no one can always answer. But today, I don't know where Cottony got so much knowledge from. One after another, she gives many correct answers to the professor, and everyone keeps looking at her in shock. Now, to check her knowledge, the professor asks her many out-of-syllabus questions, and she answers them all, and these people are shocked and keep looking at her. These people also start wondering that this is not like the night experiment. What happened overnight that he started remembering so many things? Well, these people do not talk about this among themselves, and in the evening they all go to the club, where Courtney plays the piano very well, although he had not played the piano for the last several years. Playing piano tones like this takes a lot of experience. There was something magical here that everyone experienced at night. Now, when Cottony is home alone, she hears strange noises coming from the washroom. When she goes to the washroom to check, she sees someone drowning in the bath club. Whoever was there suddenly started moving towards Cottony. Cottony yells back. It even falls. All this was very scary. Cottony gathers courage and gets up and tries to look in the tub again to see who was there. But at this time, he does not see anyone there. That is why she considers all the previous things to be her misconception and goes away from here. Well, after that, Cottony comes back to the hospital for night duty, and all her colleagues and friends were also there. Coming here, he comes to know that today Jami is also getting ready to do the same experiment as him, because now he also wants to know what a person experiences after death, and what changes in him that he magically starts doing every impossible task. Even Cottony does not stop him, and all of them get ready for that experiment. Like Cottony, these people first kill Jami. His soul remains outside his body for 2 minutes. But unlike Cottony's soul, she does not fly in the air. Instead, her soul takes her to some memories, where he was with a girl. He was roaming around with that girl on the bike. But suddenly, that girl disappeared from behind, before he could experience anything else. Ray revives him with his skills, that is, brings him back to life. And this time, after doing this experiment, these people become very excited and also party. And the next day, magical things start happening with Jami too, as if he too had now acquired all the knowledge out of syllabus. The surprising thing was that today Jami had saved the life of a patient whose condition even the big doctors were not able to understand. Well, Cottony was already an educated girl, but Jami was not like that at all, and this was not in Jami's control. This clearly meant that the magical things that were happening to Cottony were not just coincidences, but were the result of the experiment that had now been done to Jami as well. After seeing all these things, Marla says that she also wants to do this experiment, so that her mind also becomes as sharp. From here, all these people decide and leave after making a plan to experiment tonight, and Jami is left standing there alone. When he looks down from the corridor above, he sees the same girl who was seen dying. He was surprised how the girl could be here. At this time, the girl is looking at him, and suddenly a car is about to hit the girl. But suddenly the girl disappears, and seeing all these things frozen, she was very shocked. Now the preparations for Marla's experiment had begun, while Sophie's mother was not allowing her to leave the house. Actually, Sophie's mother was very worried about her, because she wanted her to get admission in the best science school. And this was also possible if she studied well and got good grades. Her mom says you will stay at home and study, and the sofa gets stuck like this. On the other hand, they have to start this experiment without the sofa. After Marla's death, Marla's soul also goes away from here. First, his soul shows him strange runes, and after that his soul takes him to his old and good memories, and suddenly he starts seeing his bad memories again. She sees a patient she treated and perhaps couldn't save. Meanwhile, his memories change again, and a dead body appears before him. Before she can move forward and see the face of that dead body, these people revive her in the real world. They had to face a lot of difficulties in bringing Mila back to life. And now, there were going to be people coming to clean the basement. Staying there could have been dangerous for them. That's why these people come right up with Marla. Marla was also very ill, and all of them were taking care of her together. And during this time, Sophie also comes there. Firstly, she was not able to bear the pressure of studies, and secondly, the pressure from her mother. She had come with the thought that if after that experiment a person's brain really becomes very sharp, then now she will also do this experiment and will do it today itself. However, Court explains to him that doing so could prove to be very dangerous. Other people can find out about all this stuff. These people used to do all the work very secretly, and if the cleaning people had come there, then all the work could have gone wrong. There were only 20 minutes left for him to arrive. Sophie says 20 minutes is too much. Our experiments always take less than 10 minutes, and I have decided that the experiment will take place today. On Sophie's insistence, these people now start preparing to experiment on Sophie and kill her once by giving her electric shock. His soul travels into his old memories. She remembers that her mother always put a lot of pressure on her to study, and she also studied a lot. Despite being an ordinary student, she used to get good marks after working very hard. But then a good and honest girl came to his college who started scoring more marks than him despite working less hard. Sophie was always jealous of her. That's why Sophie, along with her friend, hacked his emails and made some of his strange pictures viral in the entire college, due to which the girl's life was almost ruined. At this time, Sophie was feeling very regretful after seeing her old memories. Whereas in the real world, we were being shown that Sophie had been dead for 2 minutes, and these people were trying to revive her. But she was not coming back to life, and during this time they also started hearing the sound of the lift. He goes to the gym and checks that only sweepers had come there at that time. Thankfully, no senior doctor had come, and their secret was not going to be revealed. Before those sweepers got here, Ray tries very hard and somehow manages to revive Sophie one more time and then quickly removes the devices from her, and the men take her away and run away. Now Ray drops everyone at their homes one by one and drops Marla at the end, and this time Marla stops him at her house. She wanted to tell him something. Leah stops by her house to listen to her, and here Marla finds him nervous. He relaxes Marla, and Marla tells him that 3 months ago a patient came to the hospital. She tells that his condition was very bad, but not so bad that he could have died. He could have been cured if he was given the right medicine. But I gave him the wrong medicine, and because of me he died. My career was at stake at that time. I was an intern. If everyone had known that I had given him wrong medicine, my license could have been canceled. That's why I changed the reports. She was holding herself responsible for that man's death. But here Ray relaxes him and says that his life was just that. That's why he died, and you did not do all that intentionally. You stay relaxed. Here Bray starts to relax him, while the scene cuts to show us Cottony. She was as restless as Marla was at this time. At this time he was remembering all those times when he and his sister had met with an accident. That is, the same memories from where the movie started. That day, that accident happened because of Cottony. The car then fell into the water. Connie got out of the car just in time. But he did not save his sister, and her sister drowned in the water along with the car, due to which he died. To this day, Cottony regrets why she got out of the car alone. Why didn't she take her sister along? What was even more disturbing was that Cottony was very worried and disturbed about her guilt, and what was even more disturbing was that she was now starting to see her own sister. Meanwhile, on the other side, we are shown Jami, who lives in the boat. First, the sound of his crying is heard in the boat. He looks back and sees the same girl he saw in the afterworld crying on his bed. When he tries to go near her, the girl suddenly disappears, and we see the ghost of the same girl behind him, whom he felt but could not see, and that ghost disappears again. He was now scared and tired of all these things. Meanwhile, she gets a call from Quartain, and she tells him that one thing which I have not told you all and have been hiding for a long time is that ever since that experiment happened, I have started seeing my dead sister, and because of this I have started feeling very scared. At this time, Najmi supports him and says, "Wait, I am coming to your house." Cottony, now nervous, arrives home and quickly makes a video for her friends. She tells everyone how all her guilt has been following her since the experiment. His sister, whom he was guilty of killing, now his soul was visible to him in this world and was troubling him a lot. While saying all this, she was crying a lot, and during this time she heard the sound of someone walking. When she goes to her room, she sees her sister playing her drawing of herself and Cottony. At this time, she was looking very angry. She tells Katuni, "You should have recognized me, but you killed me, and now I will kill you." Saying this, she starts moving closer to Katuni and then takes her to the backside terrace and pushes her off the railing. Jamie, who had just arrived after Cottony's call, sees Cottony's body falling from the top with his own eyes, and here Cottony dies. The grounder, who was standing at the front of the house at this time, knocks a lot. He also calls Courtney quite often. But when Cottony doesn't return his calls, he thinks she wants to be alone. So he leaves from here, and the next day they come to know through their professor that 1 and 3 are dead. Someone might have pushed him from above, or it could also be that he committed suicide. Hearing this, all his friends and companions become very sad and worried. Everyone understood that all this had happened because of that experiment, and if Godney had died, then they too could die. And now these people wanted to avoid this, and wanted to set everything right. Whatever these people were talking about right now was just their thoughts. It could also be that someone really killed him, to find out what had happened to him. Now Jamie tells Marla to go to the room where post-mortems are conducted. Courtney's phone will be there. Through that we will definitely get some clue. When Maharala goes there following his advice, he soon receives a call from Katani. Now that she's here, she decides to see Cottony one last time. Seeing Katoni's dead body, she cries a lot, and when she is about to leave from here, suddenly the power of the place goes off. Behind him, he sees the dead body of the same man who died due to his wrong medicine. That corpse was about to get up and kill him. But suddenly the lights came on here and everything became normal. Marla thought it was all just a mercy on her. This time we see Jamie, who, while taking flowers, sees a shadow outside his washroom. When he comes out scared, he realizes that it was the shadow of the same girl from whom he tries to escape and jumps into the water. He was not able to swim in such cold water for long. That's why, when he tries to get back into the boat, the girl stomps on his hands several times, making him fall into the water and then disappears. All this was very scary. That is why all these people now meet in a restaurant. After this, all of them together watch the video in Courtney's phone, in which she had left a message for all her friends. While making the video, his sister attacked him. It was clearly visible to us that at this time there was someone from whom Courtney was running away, and after that the same thing killed Courtney. Seeing this, Marla tells everyone that since that experiment, our sins are coming to light, and if we do not correct and accept our sins and mistakes, then all these things, this debt will continue to remain on us. That is why people decide to tell each other about the big crimes they have committed in their lives. And they also tell each other everything they have done, and decide to go and apologize to those people who were harmed because of their mistakes. After telling everything, we get to know the story of Jamie. Jamie liked a girl very much, but both of them were going to become parents at a very young age, and both of them were not able to accept this. They decide not to pursue the matter further, and on the day they have to go to the doctor, Jamie leaves the girl. He tells that the girl is alive till today. But I don't know why she is appearing before me as a ghost. Here everyone advises him that you should go and apologize to him. Sophia, who was going upstairs to do duty in the hospital at this time. Suddenly his lift starts behaving strangely and then stops on a floor which did not exist in this hospital. Someone starts chasing her on this ruined floor, and she gets very scared and then comes back down through the same lift. He sensed that a curse was following him because he had not yet apologized for his mistakes. That is why now she finds out the name of her classmate with whom she had done very bad things and whose photo she had made viral, and goes and apologizes to him. When that girl comes to know that all this was done by Sophie, she becomes very sad because she used to consider Sophie to be a good girl. Hearing his words, Sophie becomes even more embarrassed and goes after him and apologizes. Thankfully, the girl was good and forgave Sophie, thus lifting the curse on her. When this curse was lifted from Sophia, she felt a proper good feeling. She calls Jamie and tells him this, and Jamie tells Marla this. He says that by apologizing for his sins and mistakes, that debt is being paid off. Sophie did it, and I'm going to do the same. You do the same. Jamie now goes to that girl, and after seeing her after so many years, he becomes very emotional. At this time, there was also an 8-year-old child with that girl. He understood that this child was none other than his own child. The girl no longer even wanted to see his face. But Jamie had regrets. He apologizes to her from his heart and tells her that he was just scared that day. Their talks continue here, while on the other side we are shown Marla. Marla still sees the same soul in her dreams and wakes up scared. At this point, she decides to immediately go to the hospital and admit her mistake. And while she is in the car, the soul comes after her again and tries to suffocate her by covering her mouth. But before she dies, the soul disappears. That soul didn't want to kill him this time, it just wanted to punish him. We are then shown Rael, who had suddenly panicked. The reason for panicking was actually Marla's message. Instead of telling all the doctors here, Marla went to the off-world to apologize to Cyrus. Keeney went back to that experiment and killed herself. When Ray got the message, it was too late. When they came here, they came to know that she had been dead for 4 minutes, and it was not known whether she would be alive or not. But these people do not stop trying, whereas this time we are shown his soul, which was in the afterworld. She reaches the same place in the afterworld where she had gone last time. The last time she saw a dead body, she could not see its face. She knew he was the man she had killed. Now she uncovers his face and apologizes to him. It seemed as if this man was not ready to forgive him. He gets up and grabs Marla and takes her away for a massive beating. He takes her to a strange place and then drowns her in water and finally kills her. Now, since his soul had died, it was difficult for him to be alive in the real world. She was dead. Ray's limbs swell. Seeing all this, he now picks up an injection and injects it into her heart, which causes a lot of movement inside her heart, and after receiving the high-voltage shock again, she suddenly starts coming back to life. Whereas in the afterworld, it is shown that after coming out of the water, after some time he started breathing, which means that his soul also came alive once again. Finally, these people saved Marla. Marla, now very scared, decides to go and confess her mistakes to the doctor. For doing this, he was suspended for a few days, but this suspension was better than the guilt of the whole life. Finally, all of them are free from debt, and then they meet again. At this time, these people were happy that they were out of debt, but were also sad, because their best friend Court, who had taken them so far and taught them an experiment, was now dead. All these people gather at his house in his memory, and the movie ends here showing all this.